Okay, we are live. Hello and welcome, everybody. Good afternoon. It is a beautiful day in Vancouver. If you are in Vancouver, I'm here with the Stigma-Free Society and really looking forward to having a beautiful interview today. And so this is Wellness Chats with Nisha. And I'm going to be in dialogue with Dave MacDonald this morning or this afternoon. And I just wanted to share with some of you that in this video, we're going to talk about COVID-19. We're going to talk about how things are impacting our lives, amongst other things. And some people are really enjoying the staying at home. And for some people, it's a little bit difficult. And just want you to know that we're just in a new world right now. So if you feel that you're at risk or in crisis with your mental health, please know that you need to stop watching this video and call 911 so that our amazing responders can do their jobs. Okay, so I'm Nisha. I'm a registered clinical counselor. I have a background in teaching, and I've worked with the intake of Ministry of Children and Family Development. I own a media company, Human Biography, and we specialize in documentaries and also creating social media commercials. I'm your host for this series every Thursday at 2. Except for next week, I just want to give you a nice reminder. We're going to have a very special event where we're going to have speakers on Wednesday, June 24th throughout the day, including our special guest speaker, Silken Lawman. She is a 4-time Canadian Olympian. And basically, Stigma-Free Society, just like so many of us, has experienced, a lot during COVID-19. And so that has also affected their fundraising and funding. So we would love to have a fundraiser and just be able to keep doing this so we can support our communities. So if you think that somebody would be interested or you're interested, please feel free to share this link. And speaking of sharing the link, I feel like I should do that right now so that everyone can see what we're doing. And apologies for looking away, but I am going to share this link right now. And there we go. Now we are live. So I would love to introduce our amazing guest. I'll just bring him up on the screen so we can see him. Hello, Dave MacDonald.
Hi.
So Dave MacDonald is the Executive Director of Pathways Clubhouse, a nonprofit organization that aims to create an inclusive community and eliminate the stigma around mental illness. How are you today, Dave?
I'm great. How are you, Nisha?
I'm amazing. So happy to have you on here. So I'm so glad. So how's your day going so far?
It's gorgeous outside. Glad to live in the Lower Mainland. We're not used to this type of nice weather, but yeah, it's great. Great.
We're thankful. So I want to talk a bit about Pathways, Dave. So I'm going to tell everyone what Pathways is. So Pathways is a clubhouse. It's internationally accredited. It's a program located in Richmond, BC, and it has over 350 active members, has a daily attendance of 70, 25 employees. It's open every day of the year, but we'll talk about that as well. Pathways Clubhouse, it offers hope, encouragement, and opportunities to members who have a mental illness. Now, members get to reclaim their lives through a supportive environment. It focuses on person's strengths and talents rather than their illness. And I think that's very important. And they work together as a group and create opportunities for members to return to school, gain employment, have a place to live, connect with families, make new friends, and create multiple successes. So Pathways sounds like an amazing program. So Dave, maybe you could tell us a bit about Pathways and why it's meaningful to you.
Sure. So Pathways is, I almost don't think of it as a so-called mental health program. It's almost like a community for many of our folks, and for many individuals who've experienced mental health issues and have lost their connection with friends and families because of it, it becomes their second family. To some, it's their first family as well. I think when you think of mental health programs or rehab centers, us being community-based, a lot of times people walk in the door and think it's like a community center. And when you walk in the door, see people working together, you don't know who's a member and who's a staff. And if you can't tell the difference, then that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So we operate as a community together to meet the needs of the entire community, whether they come into our clubhouse or not. So I think that's kind of like a mini description of our structure, even though we do a lot of work and services, but we do the work and services depending upon the needs of our individual members, not members fitting into our services. Our services have to match the needs of the community who's joining our clubhouse.
I love that. I think that too often in society, we try to make people fit into a mold, and rather than seeing everyone as unique and as an individual. So kudos to you guys for taking a different approach on that.
Great, thanks. Yeah, it's not just us, because we're part of Clubhouse International, because there's over 350 clubhouses around the world, and we all have the same beliefs, same philosophy. But if I come to a clubhouse in Richmond, and then I go to a clubhouse in Victoria, it'll look different because of its matching to its community. Or I might go to a clubhouse in South Korea or Finland or in Europe somewhere as well too. We all have the same belief that that label of mental illness is left at the door. They're a person first. They walk in, and our job is to meet the needs of that individual, focusing on getting a job, getting a home, having friends, having purpose to your day. Whatever multiple successes that individual wants and desires.
It's a really beautiful experience for people then, I would think. What are some of the responses, or maybe stories, or just like, how do you see the people that come to Pathways? What's their response or result?
Yeah, it varies. It really does. People come by choice. It's a voluntary, like we don't have a schedule when individuals come in, or you have to be part of this work in the clubhouse. But we do find that those who are engaged in the work that we do seem to feel better. It's not like, even though we do this so-called work, we don't really train. It's kind of like a regular job setting. I go to a job and I'm going to learn to be a receptionist. Well, I don't have someone sit down or take a little course on how to answer a phone and how to transfer. You work beside another staff person. This is how we work this area. This is how we use the computer. This is how, like any other job setting, rather than doing the typical type of training that sometimes happens with people with the various disadvantages in that. So, yeah. And once again, we also focus on their skills. So it's not as if a person has been told, a lot of our members have been told throughout their life that they struggle in this area, will never succeed in that area. We really focus on, if you have a desire to do it, and what's your skills, what's your interests, and that's what we try to enhance and we try to focus on if that's what they desire to be involved in. So.
Because we all have skills.
Yeah.
And sometimes people may look at the negative and think like, well, I can't do this, or I'm not able to do that. So you help them refocus, reframe their abilities are, and get probably, just having confidence in themselves is probably a big part of what you do.
Totally. And it comes from that individual as well. We're not there to say you're struggling in this area. We're here to find out what you're interested, what your skills are, and say they do have some issues that they might be struggling. If they have a desire to improve upon it, we're there to help. We're not experts, and we might not be able to do it, but we're a resource to help you achieve that goal as well. So,
I think this is a really great example for just, parents as well, families, friends, how we treat people. If we can help people, we can help build people up around us, and we can help them see, the skills they have, and when they do something great, like to encourage that and compliment that, that we could just really have an impact on someone's mental health.
And I want that too. So, we're all human. Just because you have a mental health issue doesn't, mean that you don't have the same feelings or dreams or desires as anybody else. So we want to ensure we'll treat each individual the same. Everyone wants to be treated the same. So and hopefully we achieve that for those who want it.
I love that point. It just made me have chills that we all have dreams.
Yeah.
Right? We all have desires. We all have hopes. And we should keep that in mind. We have to keep that in mind as we interact with people.
Yeah.
If somebody seems like they're reacting or having a bad day, like keep in mind they could have something else going on inside. So it's important to like see the person.
Yeah.
See them, the human.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because you're asking about stories. When you said that part, a few years back, we had a member who came in and was struggling and was in our clerical area of the clubhouse and cutting out little, I don't know what he was cutting out for our newsletter, and sitting down chatting with him, finding out that he used to be a great big HR guy. Oversaw HR department of 7,000 employees, and because of the illness, losing his job and some connections with family as well too, and finding out the story. We don't believe in fake work either. Well, we had this personnel manual that was not so good. Job descriptions. I don't know where this job was, but it definitely wasn't at Pathways Clubhouse, and each job posting was different. And so getting to know them, and to be honest with them, I'm struggling. You got HR background. Can you help? And it's just amazing what can happen with an individual if given the opportunity, using their skills and talents, and where he is today is unbelievable, working in HR management again as well too, and still contributing to our clubhouse community. So to the point of somebody who is 65 years old, made it through life and could never read or write. This is another individual.
Yeah.
And having that dream desire to eventually learn to read again and being able to create that opportunity. Would get bills in the mail and just could tell that that's BC Hydro. I know that logo, so I know that I can read numbers, but to be able to create him at that age in his life to be able to pay a bill and to be able to read the bill as well. So once again, different people come from different walks. Everyone, doesn't matter what your background is, will and can experience a mental health issue as well, and to help that individual wherever they are in their life to be able to achieve their personal goals.
Oh, that's amazing. And like we said, everyone has a hope and a dream, and if we can just help people achieve that, then the world's a better place.
Yeah.
So like you guys are an amazing resource for people in the community. We're going through a lot right now. Globally, we're going through a lot globally right now. So everyone is affected. And I think even though things are starting to open up, there's a lot of gray area. So I think for a lot of people, this is a time of high stress and just maybe more awareness of mental health right now. You guys are an amazing resource. The Stigma-Free Society is an amazing resource. Any other resources that you might think, like, if somebody is struggling right now, what should they do? Where should they go? How do they start to start healing or feeling supported? Or
I think because of what's been happening. We talk about it internationally, like we're supposed to be practicing this social distancing. Pathways, we don't believe in social distancing. We believe in physically distancing. I think this is the time that's your place. That's not my place.
That's my place. I apologize. I'm downtown now. This town.
In Richmond, we're pretty safe in Richmond.
I'm pretty safe and quiet. I'm downtown. You can hear all the fire alarm, police sirens. I don't know what's going on here. It seems like a safe place.
Where you live? But so Pathways and the entire clubhouse movement, we believe in physical distancing, but we believe this is the time to be more socially connected more than ever.
Yes.
And so I think by if you think a lot of people during this period of time too, when we're living in isolation, we're reconnecting with old friends we haven't spoken to for the longest time through social media or texting or phoning, and I'm hearing from friends I haven't spoken to a long time. But I think during this time of physical distancing, this is when we really need to connect with others. And sometimes it feels a little bit safer to be able to share, whether you know that person well or not, how you're feeling. Because we're not seeing them face to face. Sometimes it's difficult to say, like, I'm going through a hard time. It's easier to chat in this way than it is face to face. But so many of us are having that same experience of anxiety and unknown, whether about getting ill or finances, what have you. It's adding such stress. But I strongly encourage to, if need be, if you're not doing so well, that you do connect with someone with that clinical experience of background. There's nothing wrong with it. If you think of 25% of us will experience a mental health issue sometime in our life. But during this period of time, we're all experiencing some extreme anxiety and stress, and that connect with your friends, because you can pretty darn guarantee that they're probably experiencing the same thing as well. And it's nice to know there's other like-minded people out there. So I think during this period of time, the physical distancing, socially connect, be connected with others safely.
Safely, no, great point. And so your center, it says it's open 365 days a year now. Amidst everything that's happening, are you back open now, or are you still closed? Like, how did that all play out?
Well, our building was closed, but our clubhouse is always open. So we never did close. So we've been working virtually. So in our 11,000 square feet during this period of time, we've been have a maximum of 5 staff in our building. But what happens is the staff are working from their home remotely and virtually. And once again, we work together, members and staff together, as I shared with you before. A lot of times you can't tell who's a member of staff because of finances. A lot of people don't have those devices. So we're able to get iPads for our clubhouse members and hotspots because they didn't have that. And then teaching how to use Zoom and Facebook Live. And so we've continued working. We have our morning meetings. And we don't have everyone connect, but we have 30 people in the morning of members and staff that we connect to start our day. And then we have work that happens throughout the day on Zoom or on Facebook Live. And then we continued working. Our work is different. Our work is really about paying attention to the physical wellness of our members during this period of time. So every day we either have a aerobics class or yoga class, different discussion, the dance class, the physical wellness as well, because we have a meal program. It's like a restaurant, but we had to close. So a lot of folks aren't able to afford or cook the meals. So we do daily meals for our members as well, delivered to their homes safely as well.
Wow, that's so helpful.
And making sure it's free during this time because finances are in. So and then we just kept open. Now next week we have a soft opening. So on Wednesday we're going to have a soft opening of where we follow all the work safe regulations. We've got everything taped off and got my mask and my shield
and everything.
Oh, and it's gonna be hard. We're very socially connected. I love to hug my friends, and I can't touch you. And, but I know they want to touch me more than I want to touch them.
You're so likable. Well, I'm happy to hear that you're opening back up. That these are good signs, and these are signs for us. Like, regardless, I like what you're saying. That regardless of even if we can see each other in person, to stay connected, to be close in different ways, like online, whatever way we can, and share your feelings because. And to listen to people's feelings. If someone tries to share something with you, be open to it, right? Be open with your heart to hear what they said, and just, you don't have to have a solution for them, but you can just say, I heard you. I understand
Yeah.
this is hard,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes if we try to problem solve, you can't, so that can be difficult. And, it's interesting, on your site, it says working together for mental wellness. So it actually originally says like mental illness, and then it's crossed out and replaced with mental wellness. Tell me about that. Like, I just love that approach.
Yeah. So we took the word ill and crossed out ill and put well.
Yes.
What had happened was several years ago, we've always been renting a facility, and the city was very generous in donating land to us and other nonprofits. And so we hired somebody to come in and help us with a building campaign, and had no mental health experience whatsoever. And she started the building campaign, marketing the work that we do. We just did the work, and she told the world about the work we did. And we always talk about, people with living with mental illness. And it was kind of funny because she came to me one day and she goes, "It's really interesting. You keep on talking about you serve people and help people with mental illness, but I don't hear about illness in your clubhouse. All I hear about is wellness, about helping people with their wellness. That label of illness is left at the door. That happens outside, and that's true. And so also she said, let's focus on wellness. And then her daughter created that little logo of the illness wellness thing, because that's what our community is about. It's about the wellness, not the illness.
It's beautiful. It's such a great way to reframe it, And so when you talk about your community, like, who is part of your community? Like, who do you welcome? Like, what is there a criteria? Like, what is it that kind of helps us be part of your community?
So we have two criteria. Number one is that you have a history of mental illness.
Yes.
We don't ask to know about your diagnosis or that type of history. We just need to find out from somebody who can verify that you have a past history or present mental health challenge in that. That's number one. Secondly, is that you're not a current threat to our clubhouse community. We've all made mistakes. But we also want this place to be safe as well. So can this person verify that presently they don't consider you to be a current threat to our clubhouse community? So even though you might have done something in the past, it doesn't matter. So we don't ask for the diagnosis. We don't ask for what that history was. If you did have some issues in that. So that's the two criteria. We don't have any geographical boundaries.
Great.
Membership is free. And it's for life as well. We like, people think like, oh, lifetime membership, I'm here forever.
Forever.
So a lot of times when you take some sort of programs and people help you recover and then you graduate and off you go, and like the issue with mental health issues is I might be doing well right now and moving on with life, and for some reason I crashed and I might need the support of Pathways again. You might not have been going there for a while. Well, you know what? You're always welcome back. You don't have to reapply. You don't have to start over, and we'll help you wherever you are at that stage of your life. So you're a member for life. So lots of people have been part of our clubhouse program. They were working full time. They had their home in that, and they still stay part of our program in our evening or weekend or public holiday social program because they want to be connected with our community. So you don't have to. Yeah.
I think that's a really good point as well, that, right now I might be going through a tough time and things might be coming up, and maybe next year I'm just feeling like things are okay, but then something happens, maybe something else comes up. So I feel like life is like ups and downs, right? And so that's beautiful that, you can always be part of that community and always be welcome in, especially like you said, it's even international. So in different countries around the world. So it's quite the connection, right? A global connection to mental wellness and support. So even if you're traveling for work or something, you have somewhere to go if need.
Totally. Yeah. It's kind of neat. Like even when you go on holidays, when you're part of this clubhouse movement, that if I'm in a city and I know there's a clubhouse there, I can't help but stop in that. It's just kind of part of that family and that right off the bat. I'm from Pathways in Richmond. Oh, welcome. have lunch, and yeah, have a tour, and yeah, it's kind of neat. Yeah,
Oh, I love it. I just love it. And that sense of belonging is very important in life, I think.
yeah,
You know, sense of belonging, a sense of acceptance,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like interesting. Like for for a lot of times, people might ask when you meet somebody, so what do you do?
Yeah.
And so often, people who lost their connection with family and lost their job or their home and that this is their place. This is the reason why we exist in that, and we actually are very intentional of when we talk about belonging because members are needed and wanted. We're very intentional to keep our staffing levels low. We make sure we don't have a whole bunch of staff because if we had a ton of staff working at our clubhouse now, staff would do all the work. So we intentionally keep the staffing levels low. There's no way I can get my job done unless I'm engaging members in my work. So them being needed and wanted is true and not some fake creation that and the needed and wanted and what we do varies from peeling carrots to hiring and training of new staff
Wow.
to dealing like the whole gamut. Nothing in our operations is members can't be involved in except for firing staff. That's a legal issue.
Okay.
So nobody wants to do that. So.
Nobody wants to do that, that's for sure. Dave, you're sounding a little bit muffled.
Oh, did that happen again?
Yeah, no, that's better. It sounds a bit clear. Yeah, that sounds great. Just yell at us.
I don't want to unplug and plug in again.
No, don't unplug. That's actually better. It sounds great.
All right.
So, Dave, how long have you been with Pathways? You know, what drew you to this work?
What drew me to it, because I was looking for a job.
Good criteria. Yeah, good start.
So it was back in '84. I started. I applied as a summer student, and that.
Wow.
So was going to go back to school, but there was with the organization, somebody left full time, and so the executive director at that time asked if I'd be interested. So I thought, oh, sure, I'll work. Yeah, pay off some bills.
Why not? And
then I'm still here. So yeah, 36 years later. So yeah.
That's amazing.
I didn't become director until 2002. So, but yeah.
Still it's a good amount of time. 2002.
Yeah, I started at the age of 4.
Oh yes, I can tell. Obviously, and I think that the work that you're doing and that Pathways is doing, it's so impactful. Even with like Stigma-Free Society, we just are seeing if we can just support each other in our daily lives, then if people feel uplifted, then maybe every day gets a little bit better. And then the community starts to feel better. And really, we need each other more than ever right now. And so, like, you probably see that in the work that you're doing. But
it's challenging, but by being yourself, by caring, you can't fake it here. You know what I mean? So you can only fake it for so long, but you really can't fake it here. But I think when you spoke beforehand about even by being that ear, showing that you care, you might not have solutions or answers, but sometimes just by being that ear, especially during this period of time, that's 80% of the work that we're doing is just listening right now and supporting in that. And I know that's what Stigma-Free does in supporting individuals. That's what we're doing right now because that's our job. That's the need right now. And hopefully it'll change soon.
Yes. And like, even if things change soon, it's still important to listen. It's still important to care, right? And to be connected. But I love that. I love that you practice that within the community and that, people feel supported and they have somewhere to go and people to be connected to. And so I want to thank you, Dave, for being here today and to sharing what Pathways does and for all the amazing work that you're doing. I'm sure there are many stories and many people that just feel happier having been part of your community. And so thank you. And I just wanted to say to everyone, Thanks for joining us. We love having you here. We love supporting you. If you have any feedback for us, please let us know. Next Wednesday, so instead of Thursday, there will be a Wednesday event, and it's going to be with our special guest, Silken Lawman. She is a 4-time Olympian and a mental health advocate, and Stigma-Free is affected in their funding. So this is to fundraise and share information, and we're going to have a whole bunch of speakers and fitness specialists, like for a whole chunk of time. We're going to promote it. And also, if anyone feels that this is helpful to them or someone they know, please share this link. Please have someone join. And just want you all to know that we're sending you much love. Everyone stay safe. Bye. Thanks, Dave. Bye, everybody.
Nisha. Okay.
And